Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryandam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sakhana Bhavadu Sakhana Punattu Sakaviryam Karavavakai Tejasvina Vadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tassada. Very good morning to you. Thank you so much for the wonderful Sita Kalyanam. In such a blessed mood today. So I've been instructed to get back to the core text of Vedanta. So I just wanted to draw your memory with the wonderful Bhagavad Gita and Shloka recitation and the explanation that Balaji is giving. We were fortunate also to go through some of the Vedantic text. If you recall, we did some sessions on Vedanta as an introduction. I think we had around 13 or 14 sessions. And then we took the Tattvabodha, which is the Prakarana Grantham, which introduced the paribhasha of Vedanta, or the technical terms of the Vedanta. And then we come to the point where the idea of, or the topics that we discuss are a little bit startling, asking the fundamental questions on things that we are not used to. Tattvabodha suggested that you earn more adhikaratva. Try to cleanse your mind and try to get your focus. Try to create a critical mind that asks questions. To do that, you take up some exercise on yoga and meditation and pranayamas. So we went to Patanjali school and we spent around 50, 60 classes on Patanjali's Yoga Sutram. And having got that idea that mind has to be pure and there are means to achieve mind focus, then we looked at how do the sages execute the life. So we went through certain biography of great sages. We had some half a dozen classes on great Mahatma's life. And we noticed that this Mahatma's life is intervened with bhakti, jnanam, and vairagya. It is not jnanam by the jnanam's sake. It's not the intellectual pursuit that is dry, but something which includes bhakti, which is very appealing because bhakti moves the heart. Therefore, we get an opportunity to look at the most wonderful grantha, which brings Vedarasam, Vedantam into bhakti, is a Bhagavatam. So we spent some time on Bhagavata Mahatmya. Of course, we also did some classes on the Bhajagovindam, which is also introduction to Bhakti and Jnana Vairagya. So therefore, we had a mix of ideas, concepts that we need to adopt into life. But the question is, why I have to do all this? I am a happy life and I am enjoying my life, my career. Happiness I enjoy, sadness I cope with. Do I need all these things? If you said yes to all the questions, that you enjoy happiness, endure grief, and life goes on, you don't need this. That means you know how to live. You don't need anything at all. But if it hurts you hard, happiness comes and happiness is gone, you feel sad because it is gone. Or every grief that comes to you hurts you. And there is fear of everything. Fear of death, fear of course, fear of death is the most ultimate driver of fear. Fear of losing the name, fear of losing the love. When all this is there in your life, then you need a solution. Then you need to come to Jnana, Vairagya and Bhakti. Now, this is the life of all the beings in the world, especially human beings, because we have the mind. We call this dukkha as a samsara. Samsaram is not about you having pain in your body. You have diseases, that's not samsara. Even a sannyasi who has given up samsara will have a problem in the body. They are the course of nature. Then what is samsaram? Samsaram is what you acquire in your mind. Samsaram is the mental agony, the pain, the grief. Why, when we treat the physical embodiments problems as not samsaram, but mental ones? Because the physical is a natural transformation in the decaying body. Mind is our making. This is what we've gone through in the Yoga Shastra as well. How does Vedas and Vedanta going to help us in this? Narajanmam durlabham. We always say these words. Durlabham means very rare to get. Narajanma means the human birth. Why it is very rare to get? It's a lot of insight into this. Durlabham means it is not given to you very easily. That means it is not something I want to be in this body. I am in this body. My karma, whatever. Therefore, it is given. Therefore, if it is uncertain that I cannot control where I'm going to, then I am starting with a back foot. So Vedanta is going to teach you that even that embodiment that you want to get, that you need to get, you can choose, you can direct it. That's just getting the power back. And only the Narajanam can get it. Why? Because the will or the willpower or the Ichha Shakti that you have is expressed in the mind, in thoughts, and into actions and the words. So the expressive power, the Vimarsa Rupini, Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti, is embodied in you, embellished in you, expresses in you far better than any other Jivarasi. Therefore, this Narajanmam is therefore a great opportunity to express our desire and create the concourse to travel, if you need to travel, or get liberated. Now, all these are buzzwords, right? My bottom line should be, my life has to be clean and beautiful. Now, this is exactly what you're saying. The buzzwords say in simple terms, you live beautifully. You live beautifully, fearlessly, once you know you are going to be eternally existing. Because fear of death, fear of change is what worries us. How is it possible? I see death, I see changes, nothing is permanent. Right? That is the nature. But why that worries me? It worries me because my view of the world, my view of myself is erroneous. Now this is, see, we can very quickly jump into this Upanishads and then start talking about it. But you need to look at what is Veda preaching. Ved means to know. Vedas are therefore to be known. The insight is the problem are dissolved by knowledge, knowledge alone. But Vedas are not just for liberation, but it's also for the life. That's why, first of all, before you even think about liberation, to lead a life, do you know what your goals are in life? Well, my goals are to fix my car. Well, then you go on with the momentary goals. Every sadhyam that you see is only a sadhanam for something else. You fix the car because you need to travel somewhere. You travel somewhere because you need to work. You work because you need to make money. So every laksham becomes a sadhana, a trial. So therefore, you are continuously changing your goal towards something. So therefore, we need somebody to guide you the goal. So Vedas guide you. Purushartham is you survive, you took an embodiment, you survive. Be safe, secure, have a good body, have food, have something to sleep, something to cover your embodiments. Etiquette. It's called artha. We saw all that. I'm just reminding you so that we come back to the groove. So when I'm hungry, I must eat. So go and do, find a way of eating. So nobody needs Vedanta if he's hungry. That's why Annadhanam is, if not better, at least as good as preaching Vedanta. If you're feeding somebody, you're making them the basic needs to be available to them. But when you eat the bread, you need a jam, you need a ghee roast, you need taste. It's called kama. So kama is also an approved goal in life to have aesthetics of your means of life. Enjoy kama, no problem. But this too will bring you sukha-dukkha. Sukha-dukkha means pleasure and the grief. So if you're prepared to accept both pleasure and grief, be a arthakama as you go. But then you realize, no, I can't tolerate them. And I have no guarantee that I'll get pleasure tomorrow. So then Veda says, well, I'll give you an idea. Every action gives a result. Let your actions be good. The results will be good. How am I supposed to know this? Veda says, dharma. Your next goal is dharma. But even though it comes next in your thinking, it has to take the foremost place. So dharmam is your first point. Righteousness, charity, virtuous acts. This will create punya. The punya will come back to you, give you the results. So we said, okay, teach us. So do charity, do annadhanam, vidyadhanam, do the pujas, do the yajnas, be a good person, be in a satsang. When you die, you will go to the Swargalokas, you'll enjoy the Swarga, then you'll come back again, go back. So you enjoy this life thousands and thousands of times, infinite times. Well, if I do that, can I also be with God? Yes. You can be a Punyatma, you can be a Nitya Suris, you can have your own embodiment, pray to God, stay in some loga, live that. You can choose this life. You can choose that path. That's what you want. Then you have the path to go. So Veda therefore gives you innumerable paths for everyone to go. That's why it is beautiful. It is not dogmatic. It's not telling you this you should do. No. If you want that, choose this way. But then you very reason you are in this Vedanta class because you got in your mind, well, I know all this. I know I can get punya. I know all these pleasures I can get through. Nothing satisfies me because something is always lacking in me. So that drive to look for something fulfilling is a trigger for Vedanta. What is that is pulling me towards that? Why am I not happy with everything else? Why am I getting suffering because somebody is hurt? So a car got into accident, so car is crashed, it is hurting, but am I going to regret for it forever? No, it's an object, it's going to go. So why then there's an association, bandham? This is where Vedanta comes in. Vedanta tells you, this is because there is an ignorance in you. This ignorance is what makes all your life to dwell in the samsara. This ignorance, I'm going to use the word avidya. See, not very good words in any language, like in Sanskrit, to substitute. So I will use both English and Sanskrit word, but stick with me on this. So avidya, you may heard about ajnanam. Lots of words there. Avidya is ignorance, What is ignorance? The word English in ignore means to discard, to disrespect, to avoid, to evade. But it is not. When ignorance comes in, it is not you become not knowledgeable because you discard. No. Ignorance is just ignorance. You don't know it. But precise is our science, Vedanta. Everything has to be defined. Here, the ignorance means, see, if I do not know anything, a non-perception is ignorance. It's the first case. Let's take it as ajnanam, avidya. I do not know this. The child, for example, child doesn't know many things, ignorant. I don't know many things. You don't know many things. Because if you do not know that, that is ignorant. But if I know something, but I know it wrongly, misconception, viparita jnanam, mithya jnanam, all this. The ajnanam is not knowing it. Viparita jnanam is something you think of something else. The word in Vedanta we use called adhyasam. Shankara is very fond of this word. Adhyasam is misconception. So when you look at anything, I look at it there, oh, he looks like Ramesh I'm seeing in the distance. No, is it Ramesh? No, he may be Lakshmana, maybe Krishna. So I'm going through what's called a doubt, called samsaya. See, before you get the knowledge of who is coming, you go through this process. You don't know, ignorance, ajnana. You see somebody, a doubt, as some say, then you form an opinion. That must be Ramesh. Based on many of your background knowledge, that must be Ramesh. But the person comes there, it's not Ramesh, it's Krishna. Then you realize, oh, it's not Ramesh. I thought it is Ramesh, I thought, because you're the same height. So what I have done, I've done an adhyasam. Adhyasam is I put something else on something else. This is a great subject, but I'm not going to dwell deeper. I don't want to scare people away from Vedanta, but it's very enticing. It's very interesting. See, if you don't understand, see, what this is the beauty of Vedanta. Knowledge is, see, if you look at Jnana Yogam, this path of Jnanam, Bhakti Yoga, we say we acquire Bhakti. The Karma Yoga, we do Karma and Karma Phala. In the Jnana Yogam, we can say, I acquire Jnanam. No, we don't acquire Jnana. We remove ignorance. What about I get Jnanam? I get something new. Well, you get those things, but you'll give it away because this thing you get is not the Jnanam you're talking about. This is the Jnanam that you get as a tool to chisel away again. Somebody goes there, they give you a chisel, a hammer to climb the mountain. That is not your sadhyam. You use this chisel to chisel away the ice cubes and then you put your foot down, throw this away and take another tool. So you get a lot of tool sets in the Jnana Vairagyam, this path of Jnana Yogam. But you would be discarding those tools because what you're using the tools for is to chisel away the Ajnanam. Why? Why can't we just say, I got a Jnanam? Because if you get Jnanam or something that you get like that, it'll go away. Why? If I'm getting it, I never had it before. This is a Mahavakya, we must remember. If you don't have it now, you'll never have it. If you're getting something, that will go away. So I'm going to pray to God, I'm going to get Swargam. Yeah, you'll get Swargam. It'll go away. But what will not go away is what you already have, what you are. Well, I'm an ugly guy. I don't want to be. No, adhyasam. You are not that person. If you know who you are, that will never go. So therefore, these tools that you get is to chisel away. So in the Vedanta, see how the Veda is structured for it. The Veda Purvam, the first part of the Vedas teaches you what you need to know, how to live a life, dharmartha kama, do these rituals, do that way, samanya dharma, vishesha dharma, varnashrama dharma, brahmacharyam, what the householder should do, what the brahmachari should do. So all this is given, and it allows you to modify these rituals based on the samskaras, based on this time. It's a living, sanatanam, means eternally fresh. But you need teachers to teach you that. This is called karma kantam. In the karma kantam, it is infusing in between. Wait a minute. You say karma kantam. Why the karma is just doing yajna and all that? Karma is doing my job. If I want to be successful in my life, I need to work hard. You should teach me about my life sciences. I said, no. Life sciences, you go and learn anyway. Of course, artham is all finished in the first goal. You want to live a life, feed your public, your people, go and learn a skill, life skill, go and work. That is necessary. But then why I have to do this puja and all that? How does it relate to that? Because samsara. Life skills give you richness, money, but you will suffer because your mind will become samsaric. Therefore, to clean the mind, you need the rituals. Then it will slowly take you, the rituals becomes more of external dravya yagyam to jnana yagyam, satsangam, shravanam. See, when you're listening now, or lots of questions will come. Question B, we can answer later. But absorb everything. Like it's putting the seeds on this garden soil. Shravanam. These are jnana yagyam. To do that, it develops your mind by upasana. So between karma kantam and jnana kantam, the upasana kantam, logically, the upasanas comes through as Purusha Suktam, Sri Rudram, Japam. You do the dravya yagyam, you do everything, but then you do the jnana yagyam. Why am I studying this? Why am I doing this? Who am I? So it is developing you from the dharmartha kama purushartham to moksha purushartham. Moksha means liberation. So that's why Vedas are important. See, you must know, you must respect Vedas and rituals. Just because you don't understand, we cannot say they're not needed, they're not unscientific. It is more scientific than anything else. Who has thought of having a theory of errors called Kyadi? There's a big science in Sanatana Dharma. How can we have errors in life, in our understanding? Even today, MIT is pondering over it. A lot of people writing research papers on that, how Indian mind worked. Anyway, so have respect on Vedas. So Vedanta comes there. That it is Upanishads. We will talk about Upanishad, what it means. But today I just wanted you to understand you must have your own goal and purpose for listening to Vedantic talks and studying Vedanta. It is not dry. It can be beautiful when you have bhakti and shraddha, but it is most essential for your life. Right. I talked about the error. Now tell me, what did I do wrong in my perception? And how am I going to remove this error of perception? In Vedanta, it is very greatly discussed with some simple example. Like, seeing a silver in a shell. Or most famous is seeing a snake in a rope. It looks very trivial examples. When you see the example, you will get lots of questions. A careless observer will say it's all rubbish. It's not justifiable. See, we use our rational mind, thinking that we know logic solves everything else. I repeat it quite a few times because this is important. I tell to myself by telling you. When you apply logic, you must apply logic. Logic is important. Logic operates on the domain of objective observations. The objects that you perceive, you operate on, should be observed, known to you, pratyaksha pramana. In the waking world, I see you, I can make a decision with you, I can talk to you, I can understand. Apply logic, because we talk about the facts. Facts are the thing what the mind factors. And you and I, we agree that there is a general understanding. You see, everything, if you look at it, is Maya, like currency is a Maya. We have a piece of paper and say, this is 20 pounds. We respect that. It doesn't carry anything. Adhyasam. A value has been put on this paper. It is valuable. And the 20-pound note is changed. Adhyasam goes away. So adhyasam we are used to, superimposing something on something else for our own benefit. In fact, it is called Laukika Sampriti. You see a god, you see a stone, and you say, oh, this is Shivalinga. I put some vibhuti, put some water, I put some flowers, I worship and bring divinity into that. What am I doing? Adhyasam. I take a stone, I understand I'm putting something else. So this is not wrong. This is a way of approaching the truth. I will take this. I will not dwell deeper into this abstract discussion, but I'll tell you what is needed to understand. Let's take the famous example of snake in a rope. I think we had done it before, but I'll just go back. Somebody sees in the distance and there's a rope there. In reality, there's a rope. But I don't wear my glasses, or the light is very dull, it's dark. I see it's a snake. I'm afraid of it. My heart bumps and blood pressure goes up. I shout. And then somebody comes there with the light and say, hey, this is a rope. You're wrong. Now the life has gone through a different phases in time in this thing. Saw the snake, frightened, BP gone up, almost a heart attack, light comes in, recovered. So my anubhava dhara is continuous. I die, live, die, live, die, live, escaped. But we are looking for freedom at every moment. So our loka is changing. Now, what caused this thing? It is my perception, my misunderstanding of it. This is common. Once the light comes in, fine. What is that Vedantam to take here? But this trivial example is taken to make it easy for us to understand that it is natural for the mind to have this non-perception, to doubt, to viparita jnanam, adhyasam. It is possible, we do. But when the light of knowledge comes in, the truth comes in. So imagine the light comes in, right? The lady, my wife brings the light, I see the snake, real snake. So I didn't really think incorrectly. But just because I know this snake, the light has come, is the snake is going to go? No, it's still there. So the jnanam is useless, right? Snake is still there. That's a wrong understanding of this example. Jnanam cannot create anything. Jnanam tu jnapakam na karakam iti. This is something, a phrase Bhagavan Shankara uses all the time. Reminds you. Jnanam keeps on reminding you the truth. Na karakam iti. It is not going to create anything, destroy anything, because it's going to say all that you see and objectified is mithya. Nothing to create. But if it is not a snake, I go back to the example. If it's just a rope, then say, my God, I was almost frightened. So the fear is gone. Or even if it is a snake, now you know it's a snake, you know what to do, how to handle it. So the freedom is not having fearful things in life, not having sad things in life. The freedom is whatever come may, I can handle it without fear. For that you need jnana. So how does it happen? How do I take this example to the higher level of thinking? So I'll put it this way. There is something called a samanya jnana. What is samanya? Imagine I didn't even see the rope. So my daughter comes with me. I'm shouting, snake, snake. She says, Dad, there's no snake. I don't see anything. Because she is not even able to see what? The rope. So if you don't see the rope, there's no fear. This is called ignorance is a bliss. Non-perception. I have nothing. Also, child is considered a Brahma because child doesn't know. Also, Shankara, see, a lot of people, in fact, Mandan Mishra, Vachaspati Mishra, and all those people who have subsequently beautifully articulated Shankara's doctrine, but they somehow went away from the truth of it, as others say. Like Vachaspati Mishra got what called Bhamati, Advaitam, Vivartam. Mandan Mishra was Shankara's Sishya, but he also took a different way. Even today, there are a lot of discussion about what is avidya, what is adhyasa. Is avidya creating, one is a cause, one is an effect? No. Shankara says very clearly, tam evam lakshanam adhyasam pantita avidya manideti. In the Brahmasutra Bhashyam, Shankara starts the first chapter called Adhyasa Bhashya. Bhashya means explanation. He is such a master. He's going to take the Brahmasutra. You see, what happened was, I'm jumping here and there, just stay with me. What Veda Vyasa, who compiled the Vedas into sagas, because it's Shruti. Vedas called Shruti. Shruti means to be heard. Shabda. It's called Apurusheya, not man-made. How can it be? I mean, I see that Yajnavalkya Uvacha, I see the Aslayana Sutra. So there are rishis' names there. How can it be not done by a rishi? Rishi is after all a man or woman. That's our thinking. It's not like that. They are meaning the idea, the concept. It's not invented by them. Who invented gravity? Is it Newton? I mean, before Newton, there was no gravity. Newton brought into a language that we can understand how does the gravitational law impact the world. He's a seer, he's a rishi. Drishtaka. So he had a postulated theories, but the gravity is Apurusheya. So the import of Vedas are all existing. Shruti, it has to yet to be heard. So, sometimes people ask questions, and, we're doing the Rudra Japam, and I'm asking, so can I recite the Rudra? Can women recite, men recite? How do if I don't recite, I may not be part of it? No. Recitation is a good thing to do, but hearing is the essential thing to do. You hear. The rishis heard it, and they call those disciples and say, look, learn it and propagate it so that everybody can hear it. They didn't ask everybody to recite it, because to recite it, you must have certain discipline in life, sacrifice your life, you work for others, you become a Pradama Shevaka. Brahmanas are the Pradama Shevaka. They have to really work for others. Simple life. Very difficult life to live. Just this minority as Brahmanas, but everybody else enjoy life. The most highest enjoyment is those who just listen. But listening requires more caliber than reciting, I can tell you that. Because recital is, a child can recite, so I can see my young child came to my house, and every word I say, she recites. She just hears and repeats. It's gross. But listening is very difficult. Can the child listen to me? No. Listening faculty is the most important faculty. Active listening is much more. When I go to management school, they teach you hearing, listening. A good manager listens well. So Shruti is to be listened, and Vedantam comes there, and Bhagavan therefore starts Adhyasa Bhashyam and say, look, This error is what is causing you. So the first thing is, therefore, this is a snake. I make a statement after seeing the rope. What did I first see? This is, there is some existence. That if we don't have that, there is no problem. That is ignorance. If you see it as an existence there, it's called a samanya jnanam. But samanya means not cheap. Samanya means general common knowledge. This must have. That's why narajanmam durlabham. We can see things. So when you see an existence, it means you see the truth. There is exist a rope. It's a fact, you know it. Samanya jnana. But then you say, this is snake. What is that? The snake is a vishesha ajnanam. Because that is not right. But it's a vishesha ajnanam. Now what have you done? You have taken this is snake. A samanya jnanam joined with a vishesha ajnanam becomes adhyasa. This is called adhyasa. Shankara did not force on the ignorance of non-perception. That's also to be cleared. Encourages doubts. Samshayam is not a bad thing. If you're doubting, it's fine. Because, never feel bad if you're doubting something. Because doubting makes you to seek solution. Doubt is important. But it is error. Doubt can give you error. But doubt is also, Samshayam also, it doesn't. But Viparita Jnanam is that you create a postulation that something is not a thing. So you understand Adhyasa now. Now, how does it help me? Now you ask me, are you? I said, I am. What have I expressed? Samanya Jnanam. I am. I exist. Can anybody whom we can talk to, you can ask him, are you? Can they say, I'm not? I'm not here. They can say, no. They know it, they are there. You put the lights off, they are in the dark. Do they know they are there? Yes. How? Is his body? You know internally, inertly, you know it. I am there. I am. That is jnanam. Sarvajnana, that is. We forget that. You are always existing. We completely ignore it. How many times you think about yourself? You think about your benefits. Think about your money, your house, your property. How about you think about who am I? We don't. Because we think it's a samanya jnana. I am just a person. I'm here. Sometimes you say, I am just a person. You cannot be just a person. You are the person. You are the God. Yet Vedanta from day one is uplifting. Don't underestimate your potency. So then you ask me a question. Yeah, you are who you are. And I say, oh, I am Raja. I am this guy. I am this senior manager. I am this. I give all my vanity. I own the car. I own the house. My child, my children, my. Now what I'm doing? I am bringing adhyasam into this. Why adhyasam? This is my body. I know it. Is it not a? Why is the vishesha jnana? Why is that? Well, if it is that body is you, it is yours. No question about it. I meant it is only mine. Yeah. But then when you are having a little cough, maybe I call you, hey, Bala Mama, how are you? Not very well. I'm not good. I'm not very well. What do you mean by that? Because my head is hurting. My body is paining. But you say, I am not very well. What have you done? I have taken myself, my samanya jnanam, I superimposed on my body, vishesha jnanam. My body is not me. You will never say, how are you, Mama? You won't say, I'm not well because my shirt is dirty. No, I am fine. Then if you ask you, how is your shirt? You can say, my shirt is dirty, I'm going to wash it. When a shirt which you wear it on your top can be seen as not yours, the body we think it's us. You see, adhyasam. It's very difficult to swallow, but that's the truth. So, how do I give up the adhyasam? If I don't do that, if I go tomorrow to office and somebody asks me, this is not, if I go and tell them, this is not my body, I learned Vedanta class, this is something else. People laugh at us, right? That is not the purpose. Adhyasam is needed. Fallacy is needed. We say sun rises in the east. You and I know it. No, we read physics. Sun never rises, never sets. But it's fine to have that, the concept of rising and setting as an adhyasam imposed on it, because it helps me to do something else. I know it is not true, but I can handle it because it is not driving my life. It is helping my life. See the understanding here. People just criticize Advaitis and they call them Mayavadis wrongly. Everything is mithya, illusion. Then why do you eat? No. We deal with two different states, Vyavaharikam and Paramarthikam. Paramarthikam is the true state, but who you are. Vyavaharikam is the transactional state. There, mithya is fine, fallacy is fine, as long as I know it is not the truth. Now, what it means is, it's great insight if you understand. If it is the case, I had to find a way of managing this fallacy, not worried about it. This food somebody delivered to me, I don't want to eat it today, but if I keep it outside, it's going to rot. I put in the fridge. After 3 days, it will still go stale. So I know something going to perish. Now I know how to handle it. Where is a worry comes in here? I have a duty to do things if I need to do it. If I don't care about the food, I throw it away. But if I want it, I nourish it, I keep it. But one day I give it up. Same with this body. The body will go away. I nourish it, go exercise, do good food. But it decays, yeah, it's going to decay. It's going to go, yeah. I mean, why am I trending? Why am I fearful about it? It's a fact of life. Adhyasam. I got this Swami there, I put this, I go to this Nataraja statue, Krishna's bimbam, I worship it. But I know I put a deliberate adhyasam there, Laukika adhyasam there. There is also a beautiful word. It comes to my mind. So when I do that, it is a convenient for me to use this statue as a divinity to help me focus my mind. We use it very well. But at some stage, you surpass that one. So never underestimate. Somebody is not doing puja, somebody is not reciting this artis, but he talks about philosophy, Vedanta. You see, the guy cannot even do bhakti. How can he be? No, don't judge anybody. They might have passed through that stage. But if he's opposing bhakti, then he's wrong. Bhakti is a necessary step. Here I'm using bhakti as a stairway to go up. So what we learned before is adhyasam is there. Something may come in your mind now when I'm telling the example. But I look at it, a rope, and I call it a snake. Why didn't I say it's a lion? So there is a fallacy in my understanding because rope and the snake looks similar. Therefore, how can I say my Atma, which is different from this body, how can the adhyasam be there? So there is a fallacy and a fault in my thinking. Not just one, there are at least 5, 6 different ways you can argue it. But everything can be answered back. I have not dwelled into this. But if you take this example, you don't need to have a same physical character shape to get adhyasam. Ramesh looks like Krishna because they're the same height. How can I therefore confuse the Atma, which is myself, and the body to be one. It cannot be adhyasa. That opposition view may come in your mind. Shankara answers everything. No, that is not the case. Take the sky. Sky is blue. How can the blue color can be applied to the ever expanding sky? So logic have to take a very cautious step here, because here we are talking about the adhyatmika vishaya. Because how the logic cannot define dreams, we take it as intuition. When you have a dream, when I come out of the dream and I say I had a dream, and a logical partner will say, forget it, it's just a dream. Because they think logic is not even worth going there. But dream you lived, nightmare you suffered. Your life has been hell in the 3 hours of sleep you had. Is it not to be addressed? This life is Anubhavatara, is my deep sleep and the dream are not my life? It is a life. Therefore, this logic doesn't help me. So I need to have something else. Reasoning is better. Reasoning is, what is reasoning? Reasoning uses all the tools. Logic, intuition, anumana, Veda Vakyas. You do everything else, and then you apply. You will see in your mind, in your heart, it's a comfortable acceptance. Not in the mind, in the heart. Sometimes you used to say, well, I don't do this because my mind, I go by my consciousness, we say. Hey, you're not coming to the temple. Well, I don't believe in this. I think my consciousness is good. I go by this one. We use this sentence. It's a sweet excuse to not to do something else. But we really do not understand what we mean by consciousness and the mind. Therefore, I go by my mind. My mind says, doesn't matter if you don't do Sandhya Vandanams. You can do tomorrow one Gayatri in front of the Swami. It's fine. It is allowed. Who says this? Your mind says this to you. And you say, you think the mind is a consciousness. Consciousness does not say anything. Like light does not show anything. What? Light does not show anything. Light is there and you are there. You see light when there is an object which reflects light. So light is, in a way, all-encompassing darkness. Darkness, in a way, is all illuminating greatness. But what is needed is an ability to reflect that. When you go to space, everything is dark. But when little planet goes, the planet illumines because it illuminates. The Earth atmosphere brings a light to it. I can see the hand. I can see the bulb there. The light is everywhere. But light is in between. I don't see anything else. The hand is reflecting it. So you cannot perceive everything. Therefore, you have to really take very humble and modest steps in what Vedanta tells you to do to understand things. So this superimposition Vedanta do is called aparodha and apavada. See, when they do this kind of errors, when they did, the Buddhist philosophy were very, very close to Vedanta in a way, but they took a wrong turn somewhere, and the wrong turn took them other side. So when they say the type of error that you have what's called a atmakyavi. Everything you do, called a shanikavad. They said consciousness. I told you just now, consciousness mind, because just for you to contemplate, consciousness is not the thought, but that reasoning that you have, that you see the thought. Consciousness is not knowledge. It is not ignorance. Consciousness is that which knows, which makes you aware that you know you have knowledge and you have ignorance. I know this, consciousness lights up. I don't know this, consciousness lights up. I can see light because of my consciousness. I can see darkness because of my consciousness. Because I can see darkness without light. What does it mean? Consciousness is the light of all light. See? So the Kshanikavadas said, this consciousness that we're talking about, Veda talks about, is momentary. They mistook with vritti. We all been to Patanjali's Yoga Shastra, vrittis that comes, kshanam, kshanam. It just is like a Dirac's function. So if it comes every moment, kshanam, kshanam, it comes in, that kshanam you live, then you die. So you keep on dying. So that kshanam creates observation of subjective thing, it's projected outside. Therefore, when a rope and snake example, if you take, rope is illusory, snake is illusory, nothing exists. It's all in your mind. It cannot be accepted. Shankara just tries them away. Then you have asatyadi. It means illusion. Everything is illusion. You are seeing illusion. Unreal things you see. Sunyavadam is called. No, you cannot perceive unreal things. Remember, Mithya is not unreal. But Mithya is not real. How can it be something not real and real? Exactly the state. This is why in the type of error that Vedanta takes it, it's called anirvachaniya. It is difficult to explain at the experience time within that, for the experiencer of the domain, whether it is real or not real. You don't need anything to prove. But there are some critics, they basically said, Shankara is stumbling, doesn't know what to say. No, he says very eloquently. That time, even Sri Ramanuja, when he is Mahabhashyam, they call he writes the first, he brings 17 different questions. And he very clearly say, avidya, which is the cause of it, neither is, nor is not. Anirvachaniya. Because that time you do not know. Accept that. If you accept that, it is not inability to put everything, because if you can define it, it's become an object. This is the important insight. Don't ever underestimate a statement when Vedas says this is undefinable or beyond the definition. It is not a limitation of Vedas, because if you define it, it's an object of perception. If it's an object of perception, it will come and go, it will decay, it is not you. What is you? What are you? Who are you? He is that which sees everything. You are the seer. You are the knower. You are the master. You are the Brahma. I do not know that because I got adhyasa. But if I am that, I cannot be objectified. That means I cannot be defined. No. I use that here for avidya. Avidya is not Brahma. Avidya is illusion, Maya. Imperfect knowledge. Adhyasa, creator. But it is a great tool to run this world. It is everything is, I don't want to say this, science says. Einstein said, the spooky thing happens. Spooky things. Newton, people say, apple drops and Newton find out the gravity. But Newton is such a rishi, if you read his paper, he wonders. Wonderment is what his revelation is. He wonders how these bodies move. Then he tied up balls in his rope, he rotates it and he sees it. There's a gravitational pull is there towards the center, the centrifugal force. And if you leave the stone away, it goes tangential force. The law of motion, he verified it. But everything is wonderment. But if you go dwell more and more and more, the awe-inspiring Maya opens up more and more and more. Because all this is kalpitam. What you want to see, you will see. If the scientists think this is how the virus formulate, you will influence the thinking. Your thought becomes, this way you can accept some of this Buddhist thing, but Shanikavada, your deep thinking will create the object outside. It influences this. The what do you call that? Prapancham reacts back and shows you that. You create a new virus because you intend to create that one. New virus means new mutation, new disease, new life cells. You see, that doesn't mean you should not do research. You should do it. You do it with the view, as science always do, is that it is something which, somebody quoted, any scientific discovery is based on a very finite number of observations and infinite number of uncertainties bundled together. Vedanta is like this. Uncertainties are taken as a part of the studies. I labor all this point because once you go to the Upanishad proper, when you take a text, we are going to dwell in this understanding of I, me, Brahman, that part of it. It doesn't really relate to our day-to-day life. But if you understand why we study it, it is resolving the perceptional errors. We start looking things. See, a pre-instrument of Vedanta will show changes in his attitude to life. Like how the very devoted karma yogis or devoted bhaktas, the tejas comes in the face and the thing. The conduct of a keen aspirant of Vedantas will change because not necessarily for others, because you see things what you want to see. When you find problems in others, because there's a problem in your mind. I say it when I say you, I say it to me. So okay, don't mistake me. I'm saying this. We have to take self-criticism because if you cannot clean up the mind that we have, we see bad things. What is the point of seeing bad things in others? That means you don't have a good company. So you can have an adhyasam, no problem. You can impose a superimposition on them. You are a good person. The moment you start treating even a bad person as a good person, the bad person will change. What benefit I get if he has become a good person? I benefit because he's going to be a satsang. Satsang is very important. Satsang, without satsang, you cannot progress. No, you cannot go to computers. You may have a great expert on Sanskrit. You learn it, decode it, no help. Satsang is like living in a lighted room. Without effort, light comes in. You may go there without any expectation, and you come out of it, some problem you have in mind is resolved. Some word somewhere comes in, it's a cure to you. Neither the speaker nor the listener know there's a contract here of resolving this problem. This is how the Vedanta comes and helps. So that's the reason I'm going through this part, and let me see how much time I have. Okay, a couple of minutes, then I come to the conclusion. I have to maybe take one more session to set the introduction before we go to the text proper. I haven't even thought which Upanishad to take. Now I'll come back to this thing. So Upanishad, what does it Upanishad means? This word itself can be defined in so many ways. So many scholars define it in so many ways. But I go by what Shankara said in one example. Upani means, Upa means near. On many meanings there, literally nearby. Upani means very clearly nearby, taking you nearby. Ni is a nishchartha. Samibhyam. It is going to take you near. What is it? Something is going to take you near. Taking near to what? Your jivam, jivatma, paramatma. What is jivatma? What is paramatma? I didn't tell you that. Go back to the adhyasam. The question I asked you, who you are. I am so and so. The I am is called jiva bhavam. Bhava means a view. Jiva is your life. Jiva Bhavam is who I am. What is that? That's the world. All the people, everything, the world. Jagat. Jagat Bhavam. Lokam. Who made all this? Ishvara. Ishvara Bhavam. So if I want to define the everything in this world, I have only three words. Jivam, Jiva Bhavam, Jagat Bhavam, and Ishvara Bhavam. But I know I have perception errors. So what I have done, if I look at myself, I'm defining, because I live in this world, I have to transact with others. I need a reference point. Knowingly, Kalpitam Samvritti, what I have done, Atma I am, I don't know what the Atma is, but let me just hold it. The Atma, the existent I am, plus whatever not Atma, Anatma. Anatma is this body, mind, everything else. So I take my Atma, I am, I take the Anatma, I do together an Adhyasana. Aparotam is called. Aparotam means this feeling of bringing Adhyasana. It is a useful thing. I need to do it. But I have to now manage this proposition that I am this body and mind. I think with Chinmayananda, they say body, mind, intellect complex, BMI complex. So this complex is a jiva. I know from Vedanta lessons, the embodiment, the physical one will die, drop. Then the subtle one will carry me to find another embodiment. That travel is based on my karmas. Therefore, when I am in this Narajanma, I can do karmas in a way that the travel I take is in a path which is illuminated. It doesn't go take me to the hell or to the poor embodiment, but to a nice embodiment. Because the vasanas drive it, so I do it first. So this kind of a knowledge Veda gives, so you can short it. Jiva Bhava. What is a Jagat? Jagat is Charasham. All these things are there. So there is also must be an Ishvara, because God is everywhere. And there is an Anatma, something which is not Ishvara. We call it Maya. So Ishvara Maya is the Jagat. Well, are you saying that Ishvara is also having a vidya, adhyas? This is, I would say yes, but everybody would jump. No, you cannot. Ishvara is pure. He is beyond this adhyas. And Vedanta said, okay, because you are looking at the Saguna Brahman only, because we are trying to do the Nirguna Brahman. See, there is some difference, In some say, you cannot say Swami is Nirguna, it's a Kalyanam, Sarva Kalyanam. You are saying infinite. Nirguna means nothing. So nothing and infinite are exactly same. In a different Purnama, the Purnamidam. See, you saw that. So, what am I saying? So the Paramatma, somewhere the Avidya has to be there. Vedanta says, fine, let's keep Ishvara completely free of Adhyas. He controls the Maya, controls the Avidya. In his control, the Avidya, the Prakriti, Bhagavan calls it in the Gita. Paraprakriti, Aparaprakriti. Creates all the world, but it's under the control of Ishvara. But in our case, our Ajnanam, our Avidya is not in our control. But it creates a world for us. See the difference? Ishvara creates the world using his power of Maya. He tells Maya, do it, Maya does it. In our case, our Avidya creates the world and we live in it. We don't have control. Since when I have this Avidya? I don't know. So therefore, I must put, how come Ishvara got this Maya? Is it also as independent of Ishvara? Then it is eternal. It is duality. No. It has to subside somewhere. It has to be somewhere, rooted somewhere. Where do you root it? Advaita says it is rooted in the Brahma. What? Brahma? Brahma is untouchable, unasankar. That's the Atma. Are you saying that it is blemished? It's like, let X be this, in an equation. And I say, yes, this is called aparotam and apavad. Aparotam means forcefully superimposing something on it. Yes, okay. Keep Ishvara clean. Ishvara is controlling the Maya. Everything falls beautifully. The logic goes well. He creates all the world. Creation theory works well. He gives the karma palatatta. He does all this thing. That works very well. Everything falls into places. The moment you bring in ajnanam into Ishvara, doesn't. He's the controller. But then I need to have, where does it settles? Where does it reside? Who is supporting it? Then we say, Ishvara is Parabrahman. Maya Sakitam is Brahman. Maya Rakitam is Ishvara. Now, that means Ajnanam is in Brahma. Where the says, take it like this right now, then we will prove it to you that it is not there. Like when the light comes in, the snake that was there in the rope is negated. Same way, when you understand the Vedanta, when the Vedanta Jnanam comes in, if you know the truth of the Atma, Mithya is not there, Maya is not there. So you don't need to remove, you don't need to worry about Atma looks blemished, how can be, the theory looks wrong. Because you take Atma is unblemished, asankaha, how can be a Jnanam there? There are lots and lots of people great jnanis have gone to the debate, still going through the debates. We don't need to go there. We just take it very simple. Shankara says, yeah, take it. Assume like this, because that is not the goal. It's a chisel given you to climb this Mount Kailash. Use it, throw it away. The moment the light comes in, snake goes away. Like this adhyasam goes away. Only Brahman six. Purnamatam, Purnamitam. Purnam alone stays. Purnam Dachate. We'll see it tomorrow, next class. So, you see, I hope I didn't frighten people on this complexity of this thing. It's not complex. If you stay with the discussion, it's very easy. It's very relevant to everybody. It is not science which is alien to us. It is about us. So here, coming back to this Upanishad, Upani is Samibhyam, is the distance between the Jivatma and the Paramatma, between the Jiva and Ishvara. Is there a distance? Ni is, it is continuously, it's taking the distance closer, 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 closer. It looks like it's a distance because I'm suffering. So if I am not that same, I'm not the same powerful God. But when it says, no, you are that, you're very close to it. It is just telling you that you are not different from this. If you're not different, there's no distance. I am that, but I'm not there yet. I'm not ready to receive that Mahavakyam, to know that I am that. I'm not there yet. But I see a difference. It says, Upanishad says, yes, there's a difference. Upani, it will bring that closer. By how? Shat. Shat means it's kind of a annihilation, removal. Removal is the wrong word. Dissolving. By dissolving that, that kyadi, that perception error, that mistake in your thinking, that ajnanam, I will resolve it, not remove it. If you remove it, you put somewhere else, completely gone. Not solving it, dissolving it. It doesn't exist anymore. That's what Upanishad does. So you see, again, a long way to come back to the purpose of Upanishad. It is all about removing our understanding of the world, understanding of ourselves. That is called Upanishad. Are we qualified to study Upanishad? Yes and no. No, because if you want to recite Vedas, you need to have the Veda Dhyan. And if you need to handle Upanishad meaning, you need to be in the company of the great gurus and acharyas, born through this parampara, who knows all the tool sets, who can teach you. Then why are we talking about it? I am not at all qualified. You may have the adhikaram to listen to, but are we doing something wrong? No. It is like seeing what is there. It is allowed to share this knowledge because it is creating it is for humanity. We don't ever discuss, don't ever think it is something exclusive to India, to a certain sect of people, certain pandits. No, they are all the allotted, appointed sevakas to propagate this. So we have to revere them, worship them, but it is for humanity. It is not a language. It's not written in a language called Sanskrit. It's come in a Shabda. The Shabda Sanskrit came, or languages came. So we listen to the Shabda, we listen to the meaning, we go and then understand it. So we will maybe have one more session to just resolve and bring it to a reasonable conclusion. And then we will decide on one Upanishad, and then we go through the Upanishad text proper. So I'll stop it here. It took some time. Om Ashadoma Shadgamaya.
Om Sadoma Sadgamaya.
Tamashoma Jyotirgamaya.
Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya.
Mrityoma Amritam Gamaya.
Pratyoma Amritangamaya.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Hari Om Tassat.
Om Tat Sat.